Yahweh Shemi Yahweh Shah Barakatah, Yahweh Shamar Al Thamba Shemi Yahweh Shah. It is the ISUPK. It is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of Harlem, New York since 1969 under Commanding General Yohana. Tonight's class is a class about let's put it out on the table, the strong black woman. Ain't that that's the phrase that, especially today, a lot of women strive for and fight for. A lot of our sisters fight and strive to be this quote unquote, as one would say, strong black woman, right? But tonight we're going to show you from the ISUPK what we consider a strong black woman. We consider a strong black woman a woman that follows these scriptures, a woman that is obedient to these scriptures. And we going to show tonight through Esther, how her obedience and her faithfulness to brotherhood, because that is our only source that we're going to use to battle our enemy, is brotherhood. Through brotherhood, she was able to think fast, think quick, and do what was right, even though she feared of going against different laws in different nations. Another thing you're going to see tonight is you're going to see that we followed laws in our statutes and our commandments when we were in captivity. That's what you're going to see, right? You're going to also see that we were scattered abroad. We were scattered everywhere. And this is an example of it. Like these things that take place in the scriptures, we have to examine these things. We can't just overlook it. These things have to be examined. All right. So we're going to start this book, the book of Esther. We're going to start at chapter 1, verse 1. Now, what we did yesterday was Officer Azawar went right to the conclusion of the matter. He went right to Esther chapter 9. But we're going to do it like a movie. You know how you see the conclusion of the matter and then you do a replay of it? Well, we're about to do a replay of it. And we're going to try to get a chance to take a look at the things that went on internal dealing with this situation, and why we saying that Esther is a perfect example of what we call a strong black woman. We're going to show exactly what it means. A strong black woman is not a woman that can degrade her husband in public. A strong black woman is not a woman that can do manly things, do masculine things. I'm gonna give you an example, if I may. What's that movie? It's called The Green Latin or something. The boy, he was Green Ladder. Am I saying his name right? Yeah, and the movie came out, and did y'all see the movie? And he went to the doc before he became the Green Latin, how do you say it? He went to the doctor, and the doctor told him that he had cancer. You remember that? You didn't see it? Did you see it? Y'all didn't see it? Nobody saw it. I'm gonna tell you what vision is. When the doctor was talking about he had cancer, I'm gonna tell you the difference between the man and the woman. And this is what makes you great. When the doctor told him and her about the cancer, he was thinking about the cancer. She was thinking about the treatment. She was already in recovery. She was already there. I'm gonna give you an example. You got a sister named Tamar. People don't know in the scriptures, without her, Judah would have been ended. The tribe of Judah would have came to an end. But because of the thinking and the humbleness and the position of this black woman, she thought fast and she did what was right and she did what was righteous in the eyes of the Most High. I was going to go to it, but I'm going to jump right into Esther. I'm just going to bring it up, right? Then you got Jacob and Esau. We ain't got to tell you about the fast thinking of a woman right there, right? But right now, we about to see a woman save the nation. And this is how, listen, you got the power to save the nation. Just think about that. We all have a vital role as husbands and wives. We have a vital role, and our role is not to divide it. It's not to destroy it. It's not to plot against it. It's to plot against the brotherhood. It's to plot against what's good. It's to plot against what's right. It kills me when a woman would say she don't got to follow her husband. You don't got to follow your husband. Why? Because you're saying your husband is not following Jesus Christ. Well, he's following Jesus Christ, and you're following Jesus Christ. You're following a version of Jesus Christ. He's following a version of Jesus Christ. Who's to say it's right? The only thing you can do is you can win that man over with your behavior. And your behavior, being a strong black woman, Esther gonna give you an example of that. We're gonna see if Esther came and went down to the king's court and cut a fool. Did she go down to the king's gate and start yelling and screaming? Did she say, look, we're gonna divorce and divide the family? Did she say, okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna worry about myself because I'm in a good position. I'm the queen. I'm in a good position, right? She could have did that. This is how you gotta be thinking. You gotta think about recovery. You gotta already be in recovery. That's what we need. We don't need somebody to come and try to battle and fight me and try to be masculine towards me. We don't need that. We need you to be in that position, because when you're in that position, you win me over. I hear you clearer. And we hear Esther. We hear her clear. Give me Esther 1:1 out.
Come. This is the book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Read.
Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus.
Now Ahasuerus would be what we call today Xerxes in the Greek, right? Go ahead.
This is Ahasuerus, which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces.
Now I'm gonna tell you why that's important. That's important to understand the mass of his empire, the mass of what he conquered. He conquered all of this, and it was massive. And guess what? We as Israelites was all in it. These are some of the places that Paul had to go and evangelize. All right, but it was massive, right? Read.
That in those days, when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, in the Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign.
In the 3rd year of his reign, very important, because it's letting you know that now in the 3rd year, it's the 3rd year of him doing this and creating and putting together this great empire with Israelites everywhere, Jews everywhere. Read.
Okay. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
So he's putting a feast together. Everybody, you understand what he's putting this feast together for, right? He's celebrating what he's done. He's celebrating his success. He is celebrating their brotherhood. But their brotherhood is a conqueror of all nations. Remember, I'm saying this for a reason, because they got their own law. They doing their own thing. And we're going to see that we were different from them. In this right here, a marker that we were the Israelites, that we were different from them. And y'all going to see that. Go ahead.
Verse 4. When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 104 days. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace.
So he's putting this big feast together, right? He's putting this big feast together, read.
Both unto great and small.
Great and small, everybody's invited. Everybody is invited, read.
7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green.
Salaki, that's why now what I want you to do is now, matter of fact, go ahead, keep reading. Keep reading. Keep it going.
Where were white, green, and blue hangings, fastened with cords of fine linen and purple, to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of red and blue and white. So
this is a feast, and it's a beautiful event.
Excuse me, sis.
Right? It's a beautiful event. I can hear you. Salaki, I can hear you. It was a beautiful event. He's putting a feast together. This is a celebration, right? Read.
And black marble.
And black marble. Read.
And they gave them drink in vessels of gold.
So they was drinking in gold cups. They wasn't drinking in glass cups or paper cups.
Right.
They was drinking in gold cups. This was a glorious celebration because he has conquered such a mass empire. Read.
The vessels being diverse one from another. So it's different. And royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king.
So he had gold vessels, but the gold vessels they were different. So I had a gold cup. My thing was hot. Azawar had a gold cup. This cup was okay.
Mine was definitely better.
Kwao had a cup. His thing was fire. Everybody had a gold cup. You got to understand, this was a glorious thing.
Right.
This man, this king, this conquering, this victory of what he's done, right? Read.
And the drinking was according to the law.
Now, this is what's interesting right here, right? This is not a drinking that was according to our law. This was a drinking according to their law.
Right.
But we can't do that in the school of Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We can't teach that. We have laws that we have to go by, right? And Christians, they can't go by no laws. But here, this man, right here in the scriptures is showing you that they're being obedient to their law. Read that again, huh?
And the drinking was according to the law.
Read.
None did compel. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure.
According to every man's pleasure. This was a beautiful event. This was something beautiful. So why wouldn't I want my rib there with me? Why wouldn't I want my lovely wife to be there with me? So what do the king do? The king says, you know what? I need my wife there. That's what I need. I need my wife there. This is a glorious celebration. I know that's what I would do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Right.
I'm a man, a masculine man in this school. And that's what I would want to do too. But I know y'all got other things y'all want to say about us. But that's what I would want to do. Read up.
Verse 9. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women.
Now here we go. Now we having a problem here. Because now, what do you see here? What do you see here? What do you see? Get the mic. Tell me what you see here. Read that again.
Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house.
All right, what do you see here?
Is this on?
It's on. You can be heard very loud. Go.
Like a division, almost a competition. Not, I wouldn't say a competition, but she's doing her thing, he's doing his thing. So they're not in a court.
Is that what you see too?
Yes.
Is this a wise move?
No.
Honestly, is it a wise move?
No.
This is not a wise move at all. And let me listen. I'm looking in the scriptures, but I just don't see this behavior from our sisters in the scriptures. Now, I'm not saying that our sisters have not done things in the scriptures that I can find but I can't say off the top that I can go through the scriptures and say that we were introduced to such behavior. What do I mean by when I say we was introduced to such behavior? You can speak, you can just talk.
You have to rephrase that.
Okay. Prior to this event that took place right here, I can't say that I've seen behavior where a woman was so disrespectful to the husband. I can't say that I have in the scriptures. What about you, Azawar? I can't. And the question is, we're being introduced to this. Think about it. The sisters are present. You got Jews, you got other nations, you got the queen. The queen says, no, I'm not going to that. I'm going to do my own thing. We're seeing that. The sisters is seeing that. They're being introduced to that. Like, for instance, one day you didn't do birthdays. One day, once upon a time, you didn't do Christmas. You didn't do Easter. You didn't do all of these things. Those things was introduced to you. They was introduced to you through other nations. This right here is the introduction of disobedient. That's what this is. This is an introduction to that. This was a threat to their brotherhood, because remember, he was doing a feast and he wanted to invite everyone, and he invited his wife and his wife's. This is the conclusion. Read that again, verse 8, Salakia, verse 9.
Verse 9.
Read.
So the book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 9. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
What's heavy is not only did she do it, but it's in his house. Unfortunately, I know this is heavy for a lot of sisters, but it is his house. Even if he's not making the most money, even if that brother is a little down or whatever is going on with that brother, it's still his house. It's still his house, because according to the scriptures, that's your head. That's how you are blessed. A lot of sisters try to wonder why a lot of things is going on in their lives right now. It's because you're not keeping that holy order. You're going against it. But here's this woman of another nation introducing to our women the woman's movement. The woman's movement. That's what this is. Because guess what? The woman's movement didn't come from us. It came from another nation. Right here in this land. Right here in this nation. Right here in this captivity. Well, guess what? Right there in that captivity. Right then and there, right now, you see this. Read verse 9 one more time.
Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house.
This is another nation. This is a woman with another nation making a feast and introducing this to our women in the king's house. Any more on that?
Which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
All right. So now we see the division. Anything y'all want to add on this? You sure? Anything you want to add?
I think
Good.
it's like it for me. I think what you're saying is so heavy, especially when you're thinking about how this woman is of another nation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And how she coming in and she going against her husband. That's something that they have always done.
Right.
And as a result of what they do during our captivity, they have taught our women to do the same thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Ain't nothing new.
Just like in their day, she disobeyed her husband. I know we're gonna get into that, but just like in today's day, you know what I mean? How their women did the same thing and got our black women to join with them for women's rights and for all these other types of things.
Exactly. Exactly.
And women's rights wasn't nothing about like, oh, I want equal. They just wanted to get that full respect and not be they wanted to be the heads of the household and not
Right.
as the black woman tends us to be.
Right. Go ahead, sis.
So I guess kind of
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
playing
it.
the advocate, wouldn't Eve have been a representation of this as well?
Good point. I would say yes. It's the action of the disobedient that I'm looking at.
Because she was being called. And
Right.
she refused.
But I'm not saying Eve didn't do that. And that's a good point, because that's how the kingdom fell. But tonight I'm just trying to honor my sisters. I'm trying to point out the positives of my sisters. You know what I'm saying? But what you're saying is true, because it was not Adam that was deceived. It was the woman. It was Eve that was in transgression. But once again, these introductions to us through these other nations is what I'm really targeting in on. Go ahead.
Doesn't the Woman King kind of like represent that?
Man, this guy here. Okay, The Woman's King is definitely a transgender film. It's a transgender film. So that's a different conversation. All right. But I want to get back to Esther. I want to get back to this event because this is where we were introduced to such a thing. The water. They should have. This guy's got to, what's wrong with him? Damn troopers. Salakia. No, let's keep going. Verse 10.
On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zephyr, and Carthus, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus.
So now he's nice, he merry, he got some wine in him. All right. Now he's about to give a command, right? Because now he has analyzed the situation. He has analyzed the fact that, hey, listen, my wife is now being disobedient to me, not just in front of me, but in front of how many? 127 providence. In front of everybody. You talking about getting on CNN. That's what she did. She put him out there all the way, right? So now he thought about it and he said, okay, this is what's going to happen. Read verse 10.
Verse 11.
Salaki, verse 11.
To bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal.
What's wrong with this guy? Crown royal.
To show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
Read.
Verse 12. But the queen Vashti refused.
She did what?
She refused.
She is something else. Read.
To come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains.
By his what?
His chamberlains.
What is a chamberlain? Anybody, sisters? Hold on, sisters. Anybody know what a chamberlain is?
Is that like his servant? Like
his, yeah, but what kind?
A manservant?
What kind? It's really important. Anybody else? Anybody else? A eunuch.
A eunuch. Okay.
They snipped him.
Okay.
And listen, you know what? You know what? Forget about it. I'm not gonna go there. Oh, so you're gonna be watching my wife?
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
They would
snip him.
That. Yeah, because
and his role that he had to play was crazy because he had to be with the women for a year, getting them ready and making them smell good and washing them. And oh man, you got to snip that, brother. You got to snip him. Go ahead.
But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth.
He was real hot with her. He was mad at her. Now, is he wrong? I just want to know from you sisters. No. Is this something that he was wrong by doing?
No.
He wasn't wrong? Okay, so we all walking together right now. All right? And when we say this woman of another nation, she was wrong for what she did, so we walking together right now. That means that you will not follow these type of footsteps, right? Because you're saying right now before the Lord in class that it's wrong, so you wouldn't do it, right?
Some would probably argue that because he wanted for Vashti to show her beauty,
right?
You know, that she was kind of like a trophy. Some would probably argue that she, was right in her refusal, which I'm not agreeing.
Right.
But that's probably where some people would say, well, he just wanted to show her off.
All right, so I would counter that by saying, look, in verse 9, read verse 9.
This book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 9. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
All right, so who took action first?
He did.
I would say she did. And then in verse 9, it sounds like feminism, like a feminist movement going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Because look, at first he said in verse 8, it don't say nothing about bringing her around as a trophy. Right. But now, since she came off and trying to do her own thing, remember the very next verse, it says now he married with wine. He's thinking about it. He's saying, you know what? Bring her on down so I can show everybody her beauty, because he wants to show now I'm still the king. And now you done just disrespected me. Now I just want, look, it wasn't nothing wrong with me just having you come down and show the beauty. I wasn't asking you to come down and talk to the people. I wasn't asking you to come down and do anything else. Just come down and chill. She couldn't do that. Go ahead, Al.
He took the
See,
song.
this is good. This is good.
He took the song.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you know what it was? He probably already had something, and you know, he was just messing around with the story here.
Right.
But he probably already had something like, how's she gonna have a party? You know what? Go tell her I want to see her beauty. He tried to take the nicest route
Right.
to bring her there.
Exactly.
He said, man, I didn't compromise.
Exactly.
I could have just been like, hey, you having a party?
Yes.
If you having a party, well, I'm having a party. Man, get your ass up there.
Right.
But when he said, you know what, let me see her beauty. And she refused even.
Right. And you would think that she would want to do that.
No, she's like, ain't trying. Because she was like, I know what he really
That's the biggest selfie on social media ever.
Right.
He said, come on down and show your beauty.
Show your beauty.
She couldn't do that. She didn't want to do that, right? So now, because she didn't want to do that, and he got with his advisors, look what they said. Give me verse 15. Let's move forward.
Verse 15. We gonna drop down 15?
We're going Salakia. Did we read verse 12?
We did.
All right, yeah. Let's verse 13.
We was wrapping up. All right, so Adam is angry was at 12.
Go ahead.
You want me to
No, go ahead, read it.
All right, verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment.
So they were being faithful and obedient to their own law.
Right.
And a judgment had to come down. He didn't do it based on feelings, right? He's doing it based on his law, right? Read.
And the next unto him was Kashina, Shathar, and Mantha, Tarshish, Nerez, Marcina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti, according to law?
According to what?
According to law.
Notice they still within their law. It's no feelings involved.
Right.
It's no hypotheticals. It's strictly by law. And I think that's one of the things that we fail here as Christians. We don't really understand that everything is done through orderly conduct, and it's through the law. Adam operated in the law. That's what gave him life, right? That's what gives us life. But when we leave that law, what happens? When we leave the law, who got the precept? When we leave that law, what happens? Because look, everything that we reading is about their law. He's not taking actions and getting mad, anything except according to their law. Guess who ain't going by their law? The wife, Vesta. She has not mentioned it. What would Vesta be operating out of? Baruch 4. Baruch. You got it? Who got that law piece? She's operating out of feelings. She's operating out of emotions. Am I right? If I'm wrong, just correct me. It's her feelings. What do we struggle and fight with today with our sisters? And what our sisters struggle and fight with? Your feelings, your emotions. You'll let your feelings do something catastrophic to your family that'll last forever. You got that? What happens when you leave the law? Who got it? Baruch.
Hey, what verse, sir?
Isn't that 4 and 1? Come on, y'all gotta be faster than that. Get it.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1.
Read.
This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endure forever.
It endure for how long?
Forever.
So our law endured forever. So we're supposed to be operating just like they're operating. We're supposed to be going to our law to solve our issues and solve our problems and get situations dealt with. Read.
All they that keep it shall come to light.
Come to what?
To light.
This is how life comes to you. Right? Read.
but such as leave it shall die.
That's what will happen with our law. So we have to be just like they were. Let's get back to Esther. We have to be just like they are. Any questions about what we're reading so far? All right.
Oh.
Ooh, you got something?
I just wanted to know what nation, or does it ever say in the Bible what nation she was from?
Who?
Vashti.
Nah, it doesn't. But I'm assuming that she probably Persian. I'm not. I don't want to guess, but I will get that from the general, from the captain. All right, you got it. Next up, let's get it.
What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law? Because she have not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
Read.
And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes.
To all who?
All the princes.
So she's disrespecting everybody. You disrespect one, if you disrespect the head, if you disrespect the head of your family, are you disrespecting your son too? Are you disrespecting your daughter too? Are you disrespecting the whole family? She only disrespected him, but he said, read it again up.
And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only.
He hasn't just done wrong to you. So guess what? When you're being disrespected in your home, it's not being disrespectful to you only. When someone come up to your job and disrespect you at work, your woman, it's not just disrespecting you only. If someone come to your school disrespecting you, anything like that, as the head of a home, they're not just disrespecting you. Read up.
But also to all the princes.
They're disrespecting everybody. If somebody come to your home and disrespect your husband, they disrespecting you.
That's heavy.
You're the head. That's the head.
Right.
You don't disrespect your head, man. If you disrespect the head, everything falls, everything crumbles.
Right.
Let's get it out.
And to all the people that are all in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
So everybody is being disrespected. Go ahead, Al.
It's like how Christ says, man, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, how you treat even the little ones is the same way you treat me, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you wouldn't treat Christ that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you're dealing with your brothers, you wouldn't yell at him or say all types of silliness to him when he asks you to do something. You would not too. You know what I'm saying? But that's the one thing that you're not Christ.
Look, damn right. I'm gonna show y'all one of our laws. Go ahead.
I think that's really heavy, because a lot of times you can get so wrapped up in emotion, and it's between you and him, right? You and your spouse, your head. But to flip that and think like, I'm disrespecting you, I'm disrespecting our children, I'm disrespecting your dad, I'm disrespecting the school, like that's heavy.
Right.
Just one to think about it that way. That's pretty deep.
And we should, and that's how we should approach it. We should approach it from that perspective, because give me Ephesians 5. Show you one of our laws. Ephesians 5 and 22. Let me show you one of our laws. You don't mind if I get into one of our laws real quick? I'm not going to pull too many precepts, but I'm going to pull this law. And this is a law that every sister should walk with, because this is an example of what we're talking about right now, right? Which you got that out? Ephesians 5 and 23. Read.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 23.
Read.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
The what?
For the husband is the head of the wife.
This is automatic. It's no way of getting around that. The husband is the head of the wife. It doesn't matter what you're saying about what you're saying. Only thing that matters is this. Read it again.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
This is our law. This is the law that we go by. Read.
Even as Christ is the head of the church.
Just as Christ is the head of the church is an example of how the man is the head. Read.
And he is the savior of the body.
He is the what?
The savior of the body.
So that means Christ is the savior of the body, and that means that the husband is what? Read.
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
You in some things.
Everything.
No, because he's not following things the way you follow things.
Everything.
Well, because you're mad right now.
Everything.
Because you don't want to go to the feasts because you're mad.
Everything.
Everything. Everything. You gotta it gotta be like that. I guarantee you. You should try it, because if you try it, it's going to teach you patience. It's going to teach you trust, because the end results, you're going to see that it came out the way that it was needed to be, because the Lord wanted it that way. All right. Read. Husbands, what?
Love your wives.
Love your wives. And that's what the king was showing, but that's what we do in our law. We love our wives. Read.
Even as Christ also loved the church.
Even as Christ loved the church, he gave his life for it. He gave his life for it. He didn't bail out. He didn't say, you know what, y'all tripping. I'm here to save y'all and die for y'all. I'm rolling out. That's it. I'm done. I'm bouncing. I'm gonna let the other nation take care of you. He didn't do that. He stayed faithful to his rib. He stayed faithful to his wife. Right. He stayed faithful to his church. Let me explain something to you. Christ was a bishop. He was a bishop. Give it to me, 1 Timothy 3:1. Yeah, y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna get this right here. And listen, I want y'all to really listen to what you're getting ready to hear right now. All right? I want you to really listen to what I'm getting ready to read right now, because he was faithful. And I'm just giving quick precept. I'm gonna give him this.
Slide you, sir. 1 Timothy
3:1. This is your favorite. This is one of the big ones. Hey, this is one of the big ones. Read.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. Y'all might need to go there. Y'all might need to get it, because I'm about to show you the love that we just read about with Yahweh Shai, which is known as Jesus Christ, ignorantly as Jesus Christ. All right? I'm going to show you his love for his wife. Read out.
This is a true saying.
This is a true saying. Read.
If a man desire the office of a bishop.
If a man desires the office of a bishop, sisters, do y'all understand what you're seeing right there, right? Read.
He desire a good work.
He desire a good work. Read.
A bishop then must be blameless.
Wait, stop. He must be blameless. Let me ask the sister something. Must he be blameless?
Yeah.
Can he not be blameless?
No.
All right, go ahead.
The husband of one wife.
He must be the husband of one wife also, right? I'm waiting for an answer.
Yes.
I'm waiting for an answer, sister.
No.
He doesn't have to be the husband of one wife?
No.
Why not? It says, read it again.
A bishop then must be.
Must. The word must means absolute. Right? Read.
The husband of one wife.
Are you saying that he must not be the husband of one wife? Hold on for a minute. Read.
Vigilant.
Must he be vigilant?
Yes.
But he doesn't have to be the husband of one wife? See the confusion? Go.
That's not wife in the physical sense.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm just reading what we read. You want to teach. It's like, no, but you're right. Baba Kasha. But what I'm trying to do is, right now, you got a sister that don't really see that. And I'm going to show that. I'm too wild. God. Read it again. I'm going to show, look, listen what I'm showing you. I'm about to show you Christ's wife.
Okay.
Don't you want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
I would want to see it. I would want to see his. I'm gonna prove to you that he had a wife. Hold on. We're gonna go back there because she need to see it. She need to see it. I want you to go to 2 Corinthians 11:2. Y'all want the breakdown? I'm gonna give it to you. We're gonna make a clip of it too. Hey, we're going to make a clip of it too. Let's get it out. Here we go. We about to show you Christ's wife. Read.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, and verse 2.
Come on.
For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy.
So this is Paul saying, I'm jealous over you, a godly jealousy. He's talking to the Corinthian church. Would you agree? Read.
For I have espoused you.
I have what?
I have espoused you.
What is he talking about? I have espoused you. When a man is espoused to a woman, what does that mean? They engaged. They in a relationship.
Right.
Read.
For I have espoused you to one husband.
To one what?
One husband.
To one what?
One husband.
Read.
This I may present you as chaste virgin to Christ.
You are the church. You're the wife. You're espoused to Christ. You're the bride. You're the woman. Let me ask you a question. Do we got to be faithful to you?
Yeah.
Do we got to be faithful to you? Because he showed the faithfulness that he had when he went to that cross. Give me back to Timothy. So now we know that he's espoused to a woman. And we know that woman is the church, right? And you know who the church is, don't you? The church is the called out ones. It's the Israelites. So now we got to understand that Christ got a wife, right? Watch this. Read.
A bishop then must be blameless.
A bishop must be blameless. Let me ask you a question, sis. Must a bishop be blameless?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
The husband of one wife.
Must he be the husband of one wife?
Yes.
All right, keep going.
Vigilant.
He must be what?
Vigilant.
Keep going.
Sober.
He must be what?
Sober.
Go ahead.
Of good behavior.
Of good behavior, right? So he must be these things, right? He must be. He gotta be. But wait a minute. It says he that desires the office of a bishop desires the good work. So now I gotta bring it home, right? Give me the book of 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 25. Everybody need to write this precept down. Because this right here is called a clubhouse killer. That's what this is called right here. This is called a clubhouse killer. Let's say if Jesus was a bishop, because he got to be faithful, blameless, the husband of one wife. Read.
Salaki, you said
First Peter chapter 2 and 25. Salaki. You got it?
I don't want to
Let's get it.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 25.
Read.
For ye were as sheep going astray.
Come on.
But
Salaki, read that again.
For ye were as sheep going astray.
Who is the you is as sheep going astray? Who would that be, sis? Who would that be? Want to read it again?
Israelites.
The Israelites, you, me. Read.
But are now returned unto the shepherd.
To the what?
Shepherd.
Go ahead.
And bishop.
And the what?
Bishop.
And the what?
Bishop.
That means, go ahead.
Of your soul.
So it's saying that Christ is a bishop of your soul. So if he's the bishop of your soul, you're the wife. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You're the 1 Timothy chapter 3 is not talking about a woman. It's talking about a woman. You're the woman. You're the bride. You're the body. You're the one that he's married to. You're the one that he's faithful to. So when he called, you can't be like Vastus. Am I saying that right? Name right? Vastus? Vasti. You can't be like Vasti. You got to go. When he went to the apostles and the disciples, he said, follow me. They didn't say later. When one said, I got to go and bury my father, he said, let the what?
Dead bury the dead.
Let the dead bury the dead. Let's roll out. That's how you should roll for your bride. That's how you should roll for your groom. That's how you should roll for your husband. Don't let nobody teach you and tell you to disrespect your husband. Let nobody do that to you. Because guess what? You got to stand that judgment. And when you die alone, you may not die with your husband. Do you think you're going to be judged with your husband? Yeah. No, you will. Your judgment is based on your relationship with your husband.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Your relationship, you're going to be judged based on your relationship with your brothers. You're going to be judged by that. Do y'all understand when people say, well, I'm going to leave this earth alone, I'm going to do this? No, you're going to be judged based on when you got that call. Did you act like the king of Persia, Xerxes' wife? Did you act like that? Did you act like that, sister? Or did you act like Esther? Let's get back over there. Salakia. I get a little passionate about this because this is a serious subject. This is a serious matter. When you destroy your family, that can't be of God. You can't say God is commissioning you to destroy your family. That sounds stupid. Will you stop at that?
Yeah, 17.
All right, let's get it. Salakia.
Not 1 and 7. That's chapter 1 and verse 7.
Let's get down at verse 18.
All right, come. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath.
So this is going to be a problem, right? Read.
If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Yo, let me tell y'all something right now. I'm in that position. Let me tell you something. You don't want to be a part of this kingdom, I'll give it to somebody else. That's what I'll do. If you don't want to be a part of this kingdom and you don't want to follow the brother, then yo, guess what? That's what we got to do. Because I summoned you and you didn't come. So guess what? Since you don't want to allow me to be your head, you don't allow me to be your leader, I'm going to get somebody that wants to allow me to be their head and be their leader. That's what he's doing right now. That's what he's doing right now. Now, we don't do that in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. What we do is, I'm going to let you know what we do. We try to work with it. We try to fight for it. We try to do whatever we can to make this thing work. But one thing we're not going to do, we're not going to break this law. Just like they were obedient to their law, why can't I be obedient to mine? There's only one way to love the Most High God, and this is to do what? To keep his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. Get a microphone to the brother back there. It is very vital and very important that we navigate that way. What you got, Al?
No question.
Go ahead.
We read earlier in chapter, I want to say verse 15.
Verse 15? Mm-hmm.
What should we do unto Queen Vashti according to the law?
Mm-hmm.
And the verse we just read, it was saying, if it please the king, let there to a law commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws.
Right.
So does that mean they went to look for a law and there wasn't one?
Now, you know what it is? It could be, right. It could be that, but it also could be that because he's the king, the law is being established. Remember, these providences, he was just establishing these providences. You got something on it?
Yeah, okay. Like this, we're not dealing. This is not an Israelite.
Right, and keep that in mind.
This is not an Israelite. You got to understand, like they was making laws as it goes along. He asked her to come, and then now that she didn't come, now all of a sudden that was a commandment that was broken. You know what I mean? He just made a law on the spot. But there is a law, and if we look at Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 26, you know what I mean? I'm gonna read it real quick.
Go ahead.
It says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now understand, when Christ came, he said, nah, that's your rib forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Understand that, because we were quick to do this. You know what I mean? Hey, she ain't set the microwave levels right, man. It's over. It's over for her, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of the hardness of our heart. You see what I'm saying? But
right.
the most
Right.
But that's what Christ was like. Look, man, nah, it ain't supposed to be no bill of divorce. That was given because of the hardness of your heart. It's like,
that's right. because of the hardness of your hearts, suffer you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so. We don't put away our wives unless it be for fornication, which is adultery.
That's right.
And guess what? She got to understand when you go marry another, if it's not for that, go ahead. If it's not for that, she marry another, that person, and she is an adulterer. Yes.
So could it be said that this introduced to the men the hardness of their heart? Like, yo, if she doesn't listen to you, cut her off.
Well, no, I would say that was introduced to us in Egypt, because when we came out of that captivity, that bondage, that was the reason why we was putting our sisters away, because of the hardness of our hearts. We had the women had learned different ways of the Egyptians. Remember, they was complaining about going back, and the men just couldn't deal with it. So now what we have to do is, as brothers in the school of Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we got to deal with it. But what we try to do is we seek counsel. We seek counsel from the head. And when we seek counsel, we seek counsel from wiser men that give us great counsel. Great counsel. It really is great counsel. Now, you don't got to follow that counsel. But guess what? If you don't follow that counsel, you got to reap the repercussions for not following that counsel. All right? Because that's what was happening right here. What was happening, they was having a council. And they were saying, what do we do? How do we determine how to handle this? Right? That's what was going on. And he said, listen, you got to establish this. And that's what would happen. Read verse 19 again.
If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the persons in the need.
So let a commandment be, let a commandment be put down. A commandment is a law, right? Excuse me. He says a royal commandment from him, and let it be written down. So that's where you hear the writing part. That's where you hear the evolution. That's where you see the growth of his kingdom. Everybody with me? Go ahead.
That it be not altered. That Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
All right, so she's done. She's done.
Oh, God.
Huh? Go ahead.
I'm gone.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And when the king's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor.
Give what?
Shall give to their husbands honor.
So by the time when they see what he about to do to her, the women are going to honor the man, because nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to lose your head. But for some strange reason, here in the United States of America, this is something that our women love to run to. You love to destroy the family. You love to blow it up. And listen, don't get it twisted. Men do that too, because of the hardness of their hearts, suffer them to put away their wives. But this is not something that we should be doing.
Right.
All right? This is not something that, look, one did it, now everybody wants to do it. And that's what they're concerned about. So they're saying, hey, listen, once you do this, this is setting an example across the board. An example for all of the women, right? They should honor their husbands, right? Read.
Both to great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes. And the king did according to the word of Nebuchadnezzar.
So he did according to the council. Did he say, no, I ain't doing the council? He didn't say he was going to do half of the council. He didn't say he was going to follow and do some of the council. He's going to do it. And he did it. All right? Read.
For he sent letters into all the king's provinces.
In some of them.
All the king's provinces.
That's all 127. Read.
Into every province according to the writing thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And to every people after their language.
After their language. That's letting you know that there was different nations there with different languages. Just like in Africa right now. People try to say that everybody in Africa is the same. The Africans were selling Africans. No, it was different. Different land. I mean, different people, different languages. Right? The same thing we see here. Read.
That every man should bear rule in his own house.
In his own. Why can't we in your own house? They lay a rule and a law that you rule in your own house. Because if you disrespect me in this house, you disrespecting the whole house. Read.
and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
All right, read chapter 2 and verse 1.
After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her.
Come on.
Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
Mm-hmm.
And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom,
Come on.
that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan, the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Haggai, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things of purification be given them.
Let them be purified. They're going to be washed and cleansed and purified. We're going to get them right. Right? Read.
And let the maiden.
Let the what?
Let the maiden.
Who is the maiden? One of the sisters. Who is the maiden?
The woman slaves, like the
servants.
help, the servants for the women.
Read, listen.
Like-
Read verse 3 and verse 4. Listen. Read.
And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti.
Oh, the women were the queen, like the
Which-
women that were competing for the king's affection.
Which are what?
Virgin.
Which are virgins.
Yeah.
What is a virgin? Uh-oh.
A woman.
So, Genesis 24 and 16, sidebar. Go ahead. Genesis 24 and 16. Go ahead. We got to address it.
A woman.
Because, and the reason why, let me just, for the listeners, the reason why I'm addressing it is because I want people to understand that this ain't no pervert thing going on. All right? Esther wasn't no, this is not perversion or anything like that. All right? So I just want to lay out the virgin, but I also want to lay out the virgin for people that think about this virgin birth thing, the magic thing. Go.
It's a woman who's gotten her flower.
What does it mean, a woman that reached her flower? Because I know little skinny girl that reached their, I guess their menstrual. Is that what you? So you saying once the woman reach her menstrual, she's mine? She's a virgin? I can get her? Wow. And they say we the sex, huh? I'm just joking. No, really. Because we have to understand what we teach here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and understand what a virgin is. Watch this. I want you to answer this. Try to answer it from this point. Go. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 16.
Read.
And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
So what does that mean?
She was nice to look upon.
She was pretty.
Yeah.
Right? Read. Right? But
She was
she was fine.
Right. A virgin.
A what?
A virgin.
What does that mean?
A person who hasn't had sex.
Okay, go ahead.
Neither had any man known her.
Now I'm confused. What does that mean? Read that again.
And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
What does that mean?
She was pretty to look at.
Read.
A virgin.
What does that mean?
A person who hasn't been with a man.
Read.
Neither had any man known her.
What does that mean?
No man's known her. No
So why
man's
does it
been
have
with
to
her.
say it twice? If virgin means a woman that's never had sex, why does it have to say it twice? Read it again, huh?
A virgin.
We don't read the whole thing for her.
Slakia. And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
What does that mean?
She was pretty to look at.
Read.
A virgin.
What does that mean?
A person who hasn't had sex.
Read it. Read.
Neither had any man known her.
So if it's, once again, I'm gonna ask again. Why is it saying it twice then if you're saying that's what it means? Are you saying that the word virgin means that a woman never has, does the word virgin means a woman never has sex and then he got to turn and say this? Read that again, neither.
Neither had
What does
any
neither
man-
mean? What does neither mean?
Either like here or there. It's-
Somebody give me the definition of neither. Give me the definition.
Nor,
Huh? Nor.
Nor.
also,
Also. Right?
Mhm.
So read it again.
And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
What does that mean?
She was pretty to look at.
Read.
A virgin.
What does virgin mean?
A person who hasn't been with a man.
A person that's been with a man?
Has not been with a man.
Okay, so if it means that a person that's never been with a man, do we got to say it again?
No.
All right, read.
Neither had any man known her.
What does that mean?
No man's known her. No
So
man's
why do we
seen
got to
her.
say it twice? Is it possible that maybe the word virgin doesn't mean what you think it means?
Yes.
It may be possible. I'm about to show y'all. Read. I'm going to show you what it means.
Okay.
Because it can't, he's not saying a virgin, neither has she known any man.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't say it like that. All right. This is what happens when you come to class. When we come to class, we get a chance to ask questions and interact with it and really dig into it. What's up, Al?
It's like you're saying, it's like if you replace virgin with what we think it is, and if you replace known of what we think it is, right? It's like saying she ain't had sex, neither has she had sex.
That's what exactly. That's exactly what you're saying that it's saying.
Right.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's not. The word virgin means, yes, she reached her flower, but she reached her flower and now she can carry a child. Remember, our first command was to be what? Be fruitful and multiply.
Mm-hmm.
So once she reached her flower, it doesn't mean that she just reached her period. She reached her mature level that now she can carry a child.
Okay.
You understand? So now, read that again. Genesis 24:16. I'm going to break it down to you Philly style. Read.
And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
Yo, she was nice. Did you see her? When I saw my Gia,
Have you seen her?
I said, read that again.
And the damsel was very fair to look upon.
She was beautiful. She was beautiful. Read.
A virgin.
That means she was marriage material. She wasn't just beautiful. That was someone that I could marry because she was what?
Neither had any.
No, read.
Oh, a virgin.
She was a virgin. She can have children. She's marriage material. If she wasn't a virgin, she wouldn't be marriage material. She was beautiful and she was married material. That's what happens when you see a woman and you just see her aura. And her aura is like, wow, that's wifey. You see that aura, you say, yo, because she's not dressed like a whore. She's not dressed like that. She's dressed and she's covered and she's modest. And then I'll say what? She's fair to look up on. A virgin, which is marriage material. Read.
Neither had any man known her.
And ain't nobody been with her? I'm wrapping this up. I'm getting up. That's Philly style right there. That's Southwest Philly style. That's what took place. That's what that's saying.
Right.
Don't let nobody bamboozle you. When you're reading these scriptures, you read it from our spirit because we wrote it. Let's get back to Esther. Salakia, I guess I ain't going to be able to finish him off, right? See? It's your fault. It's his fault. Mataziala finish it off on Wednesday. Chapter 3, verse 1. Read.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
So this Edomite, and we're going to show that this was the Edomite, he was given a position. So this letting you know that Edomites was around even back then. All right? This is Edomite.
Stirring the pot.
Stirring the pot. Being in the background with the wise counsel. Right? Because that's what he gave. He gave the king some wise counsel. That's what they do now. They give that wise counsel up in Congress.
Crafty.
Yeah, very, very crafty. Very, very crafty. Read.
And
I'm gonna go ahead.
And all the king's servants that were with the king's gate bowed and revered Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him.
So the king gave a law. Remember, these laws was being written down. They was evolving. They was growing. We just read it in chapter 1, right? So now it was a law that says you got to give reverence to Haman, right? Read. The Edomite, good night. You got to bow down. This is crazy. Go. Read.
But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence.
He didn't bow down. He didn't give him no reverence. He didn't give Esau nothing. He didn't bow down to Esau, and that's how you should be now. Listen, I'm going to get to it. Go out.
Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai.
So the king's servant said unto Mordecai, go ahead.
Why transgressest the king's commandment?
Now, why are you not following the law of the land? Listen to his response. Read.
Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told him on to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand.
So they went and they snitched. They went and they told, right? Read.
For he had told them that he was a Jew.
What did he say?
He was a Jew.
When somebody say you should celebrate Christmas, you should say what?
I am a Jew.
When somebody tell you you should go to the birthday party, you should say what?
I am a Jew.
If anybody tell you to do anything against God's law, you should say what?
I am a Jew.
If somebody say to eat swine, you should say what?
I am a Jew.
Yo, I'm a Jew. An Israelite, I'm a Jew. What's wrong with you? It's nothing wrong with that. Listen, notice this is in the captivity. This is why this is big, because a lot of these Israelites today say we don't have to follow our law because we in captivity. I know you heard that before. Well, they in captivity,
Right.
and they following the law. Should I listen to Pastor Porkchop or should I listen to the scriptures? Give it to me.
And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath.
So the white boy was tight. Salakia. Esau was tight. He was tight. You know, I got somebody that's mad at me because Esau bowed down and wanted to kiss my boot.
Yeah, all right.
They mad at me. They got that wrath at me.
Yep.
But he got wrath because he said, yo, this boy, like, this nigga. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Salakia, that's what he said.
Right.
We were called niggas in Acts chapter 13.
Damn right.
That's what he said. Hey, read.
And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone.
He wasn't talking about prayer. He wasn't talking about prayer. He wanted to lay hands on him. Read.
For they had showed him the people of Mordecai.
Come on.
Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews.
All the Jews. And guess what? That's the command right now. To destroy all the Negroes. Except the ones that run fast and stuff on TV because they make good games. They want to keep them around. They need entertainment. Esau need entertainment. Right? Read.
That were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus.
Come on.
Even the people of Mordecai.
Come on.
In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast her. That is the lot before Haman from day to day.
Come on.
And from month to month to the 12th month, that is the month Adar.
Come on.
And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces.
So it's a certain people right now today that is scattered abroad. These are the people of the diaspora. These are the people of the 12 tribes of Israel. These people are you. That's you right now. These people are you. Read.
All the provinces of thy kingdom.
So they're everywhere. Would y'all agree that it's Israelites at this point everywhere? You have to take this history with you to the New Testament. You have to take it with you. You can't leave it there. Right? This is the Persians and the Medes captivity. What captivity is after this? What captivity is after this? Anybody know what captivity is after this? Well, this is the Persians and the Medes. No, is it the Babylon? What is it? Somebody said, I heard it. Who? What is it? It's the Greek. Listen, in the book of Malachi, we was in the Persians and Medes captivity. You got the Greeks and the Romans. They took it out. You see? So we scattered everywhere. So you got to take all this history with you. Read.
And their laws are diverse from all people.
They what?
Are diverse.
They are different. Their laws is different. That's how you should be. That's how you become holy. That's how you become set apart.
Right.
How could you not be set apart? If you listen, I got an atheist that lives across the street from me. And then I got a Christian next door to me. The Christian and the atheist both celebrate Christmas. The atheist and the Christian both celebrate Halloween. They you look at their houses, they both got the same type of celebration up. Where you set apart at? When you come down my block, when you come down my street on Easter, Thanksgiving, or any of these holidays that you put any of this mess outside in front of your home to show that you celebrating, I'm set apart because I'm a Jew and my laws are different.
Right.
My ways are different.
Damn right.
I'm holy and set apart. And because of that, I'm raised above all people that are on the face of the earth. And now I need y'all to come with me. I need y'all to hear what we are saying, and you need to come with us. Listen, together we stand. Divided, we gonna fall. I'm trying to tell y'all, we gonna fall, we gonna crumble. And right now, man, we at war. We at war physically and spiritually. But it's that spiritual battle is the one that's really the battle that we really got to fight, because you have to fight so many things, right? Salakia, I'm going off. Go. Where you at?
We're still on verse 8, sir.
Go ahead.
Neither keep the king of Salakia. Neither keep they the king's laws.
We don't keep the laws of the land. I know y'all heard in the Pastor Porkchop told you, oh, you got to keep the law of the land. No, if the law of the land is exceeding the God's law, then I don't got to do it. You don't got to do it. If the law of the land say you can put your husband away, but the scriptures say you can't, you can't. If the scriptures say you're bound to him as long as he lives, you're bound. Period. That's your head. You are a representative of the church, and he's the representative of Christ. Don't y'all understand that? That is so vital and so big. What you got, young?
That's what I wanted to read. Genesis 3, verse 5.
Hey, can you give him the mic? Like, we got to show the young brother some respect around.
For God doth.
Where you at?
Genesis 3, verse 5 through 7.
Genesis 3, verse 5 through 7. All right. Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Okay.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for good, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took one of the fruit thereof, and did eat.
Come on.
And gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed the fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Okay,
good job. You well read. I let him. It's okay. It's all right. Good job. And look, that's a good precept. All right. Where you at? Let's get back to Esther. Salakia. Read verse 8 again.
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus.
This is what Esau said to the king. Read.
There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. And their laws are diverse from all people.
Come on.
Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
Come on.
If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasury.
Read.
And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman.
What is that right there when he says he took the king, he took this ring? What is that? Anybody know what that is? Anybody?
Like his power,
It's what?
like his power, or his authorization.
Is it?
So, Salaki, sir, I was going to say something similar.
Okay.
So it's pretty much like he's his right hand. So the king is pretty much authorizing him when he's giving that ring to do, the king's bidding.
Right, but what is it? It's
His signet.
It's his signet. It's very important to understand it's his signet. Well, why is this his signet? Because this is David's signet. This is King David's signet. This represents the throne of David. So he took that signet. I'm going to close out with this, right? I'm going to close out with this chapter. So what else you got on that?
And gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
The Jews' enemy. So he gave authority, like y'all said, it's still the power, but he gave him a signature. You know what he did? He gave him a general power of attorney. Right, he gave him a power of attorney. He could sign for him. Right, so he boom, he did the letter and sealed it. It's law. I think it was a movie that let it be written, let it be done, and they seal it, whatever. Yeah, they stamped that thing, right? Go down to verse 13.
Verse 13. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews.
This is what the law is right now. Right now, we're dealing with these type of laws.
Right.
These laws are designed and they are put in place to destroy your brotherhood, to destroy you. All right? We see these laws throughout our land. We see these laws throughout the state. This is not something new. There is nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. All right? Read.
Both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month.
It was killing time. Come on.
Which is the month Adar.
Read.
And to take the spoil of them for a prey. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people. They that should be ready against that day. The post went out, being hastened by the king's commandment. And the decree was given in Shushan, the palace. And the king and Haman sat down to drink. But the city Shushan was perplexed.
It was perplexed. So we see, go ahead. We see that right now it's on. Go ahead.
And they sat down. They said, yo, we're going to kill all these Jews.
Right.
And then they sat down and had a drink.
Right.
They had that Crown Royale that they wanted back to the store. They just sat down and had a drink and was married with one another. Like, we did a great thing. This is a good thing that we're about to do. Man, this is something else. And you're right, man. This is the same thing that's going on. It's
exactly what's going on right now. It's exactly.
Behind these daggone walls.
Right.
That you think that the person that you voted for is for you, and you're going to realize that he is not for you. Right. That's why we had the prayers of the curses. Damn right. I mean, that's why we prayed the downfall of this enemy. Because we know what they're doing behind closed doors because it's written.
Right.
It's written right here. That's why it's important to always remember this feast.
Right.
It's important to understand that these people hate you. They hate you since we was in the womb together.
Since you were in the womb together.
Right.
Right? So let's go to 4 and 1. Let's try to pick it up a little bit so we can close this thing out. Esther chapter 4 and verse 1. I wanted to go to the Apocrypha, but we're not going to have the time tonight. Go ahead.
The book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 1.
Read.
When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry.
He cried with a loud and bitter cry. Go ahead.
And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth.
So now that Mordecai heard about what the king has come up with about killing the Jews, right? Verse 4.
Verse 4. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her.
So they told her what they have heard. What's going on? Go ahead.
Then was the queen exceedingly grieved,
Come on.
and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him.
Come on.
But he received it not.
So he was like, yo, get away from me.
Right.
Get back. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains,
Come on.
whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was.
So she's saying, listen, what's going on? What's the problem? She didn't start yelling and screaming and acting crazy. She want to know what's going on with her uncle. Read.
So Hatak went forth to Mordecai unto the street of the city, which was before the king's gate.
Come on.
And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them.
So he told him everything, and he gave him a copy of the letter. Go down to verse 10.
Verse 10. Again Esther spake unto Hatak, and gave him commandment unto Mordecai.
So she's giving him another command to give unto Mordecai. Go ahead.
All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whatsoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law out his to Salaki. There is one law of his to put him to death.
So if you come and you break that, if you come if you come before the king, you're supposed to be killed, right? Go ahead.
Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter.
So when he hold out that scepter, then lawfully now you can approach the king, right? Go ahead.
That he may live.
That he may live. So now you can live, right? Go ahead.
But I have not been called to come in unto the king's these 30 days.
So this is what Esther is saying. She's saying in those 30 days, I wasn't called to do that, but I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to take this shot. Go ahead.
And they told to Mordecai Esther's words.
Come on.
Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther.
Come on.
Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape the king's house.
So what is he saying right there? Go ahead. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Give him the mic.
Don't think you're better than the rest of us. We all of the same.
I can't hear you.
Don't think you're better than the rest of us. We all of the same bloodline. We all true.
That's true, but I'm looking for a little bit more. Grab that mic, because I think that went out. Grab that mic. Yeah. A little bit more. Read that again. We got to move forward. You want it, but I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more.
Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther.
So this is what Mordecai said to Esther. Read.
Think not
Don't think for 1 minute. Go ahead.
with thyself
Don't think about yourself. Read.
that thou shalt escape in the king's house.
That you're going to escape this judgment, this commandment that the king gave. Don't think you're going to escape it.
You was you too.
Yeah, don't think you're going to don't think you're going to escape this. So she's listening to this. She's hearing this command. She's not ignoring it. She's not trying to be prideful. She's not trying to do what those women of Vasti is doing. Salakia. You know how to tear up a name. Go. Read.
More than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed.
Come on.
And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
Come on.
Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer.
Come on.
Verse 16. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan.
Come on.
And fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day.
So Esther's response, her response wasn't to get chippy. Her response was nothing like that. She said, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fast.
That's right.
3 days, 3 nights, we're going to get this thing right. We're going to petition our king. And our king is the most high power.
That's right.
That's what we're going to commission. Read.
I also and my maidens will fast likewise. And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
So if I die, I die.
Nice.
This is a sister that's saying this. This is a sister that's putting that out there. Her response is, we gonna pray 3 days and 3 nights. She didn't say, I'm gonna yell and scream at you for 3 days and 3 nights. She didn't say, I need to be separated from you for 3 days and 3 nights. She said, listen, this is what we gonna do. If a sister was to say, you gotta respect that. Go ahead, Doc.
She ain't say.
Give him the mic.
She ain't say we're gonna vote. We're gonna vote. She ain't say we're gonna go march to the same one that's trying to kill us,
Right.
and ask for mercy either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's what some of our women, that's what some of our men are doing in these times. You know what I mean? We know that they're trying to kill us, and instead of us coming together and try to figure out a solution to separate and have our own, we too busy going to the same people that's trying to kill us and asking for mercy.
Damn right.
Instead of going to the Most High.
Instead of going to the Most High, or exactly what this sister did.
Right.
Exactly what this sister did. Listen, put this out there. Don't yell at him for 3 days and 3 nights.
Right.
Don't ask him to leave the home for 3 days and 3 nights. Read one more time with our sister Esther, what was her response on how she should handle this matter. Read.
The book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 16.
Read.
Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan.
So go gather all of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people in Philly, in Delaware, in Chester, in Chicago, in New York, and wherever you saying we at, because we scattered in all the provinces.
That's right.
Read.
And fast ye for me.
And do what?
Fast ye for me.
Fast for me, because if I die, I die. But fast for me. Read.
And neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day.
Come on.
I also and my maidens will fast likewise.
We gonna do the same thing.
Right.
That's that brotherhood. That's that unity. That's that one body. That's why this class should be filled, because this night is about our sisters. This is to change our philosophy and our thinking and our approach of our sisters. Because if we can understand that our sisters was Esther, and we can understand that our sisters was Mary, if we can understand that our sisters was Sarah, if we understand that our sisters were these great women psychologically, we're going to approach them different. We're going to handle them different, right? That's what we're going to do. Read.
I also and my maidens will fast likewise.
We on with you. We're with you. One body. Read.
And so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law.
So I'm going to go in and do something that's not according to their law, but I'm going to rely on our law. Read.
And if I perish,
Come on.
I perish.
Come on.
So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded
He
him.
didn't say, yo, I'm not listening to her. He didn't say, yo, whatever, she tripping. We got to fight. Go get the guns. Go get the swords. Go get what we need. What Esther said was the greatest war, the greatest weapon, the greatest thing you can do. Pray and fast. 3 days, 3 nights. We're going to get this thing done. Brotherhood. That's what that was. You got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's amazing how, like, the contrast between Vashti and Esther is shown, where Esther promoted the unity
Right.
of the people, promoted a God, for a multi-verse
Right.
mentality. Whereas Vashti, you kind of say, she was kind of about herself. It wasn't, and I think that's an important point. It's like that was her strength, going to the Most High.
I think that's vital, what the sister just said. What the sister just said was she didn't think about herself. She thought about the unity of the people. She thought about her head. She thought about what was right for the people. That's what we need. We need our sisters to think and do what's right for the people. Because if you do that, we strong. We about to do this thing. But together we stand, right? Divided we fall. There's only one body. Give me that in closing. What Esther displayed and what Esther did was something that we should all have in one mind all the time. Because there's only really one way. There's only one way. And that's what she relied on. That's what she relied on, the source that would win the battle, that would win the fight. You got it?
Sir.
Read.
The book of 1 Corinthians. Ephesians, Salakia.
One body.
One body. Ephesians 4 and is it 4?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
You said Ephesians 4 and 8.
Read.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 8.
Come on. That's it.
Wherefore he saith, when he has ascended. Oh, Salakia.
Nah, that ain't it. You tripping. It's 4. It's 4 and 4. Ephesians 4 and 4.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 4.
Read.
There is one body.
There's only one body, and she displayed that. This is the mindset that we have to have. It's only one body in your home, and that one body is connected to that one body, which is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Speak up.
Verse 3.
Go ahead.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 3.
Read.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the spirit in the bond of peace.
That is heavy right there. The water. It is the unity. That's the spirit that we should have. That unity. That's what Esther was operating in. She didn't, like the sister said, she didn't think about herself. She thought about the unity of the people. Read.
There is one body.
There's what?
One body.
No, there's two bodies.
One body.
There's only one body. That's the mindset. One body. You got to be thinking in that oneness. If you think in that oneness and you're thinking about the holy order, it should always flow like a river. It should always go good. Because guess what? If you're doing thus saith the Lord, now you can say, well, Lord, why? I'm doing what you said. Then you would have to be patient and you would have to allow the Most High Spirit to handle the situation, to handle the problem. Go ahead.
And one spirit.
There's only one spirit. There is one body, one spirit. Read.
Even as ye are called in one hope.
Is even in one hope. You got Baptist, Pentecostal, you got AME, you got all these different hopes. But there's only one hope. And that hope is in Yahweh Shah Mashiach. It's not in any other hope. Read.
In one hope of your calling.
Come on.
One Lord.
One what?
One Lord.
Read.
One faith.
Come on.
One baptism.
One baptism. Come on.
One God.
Come on.
And Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all.
And this is what we need. One more.
But unto every one of us.
But every one of us. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, read.
Is giving grace.
Is giving what?
Grace.
Come on.
According to the measure of the gift of Christ.
The gift of the Mashiach. All right. So that's what Esther displayed. That's what Esther did. She operated, like the sister said, on that one body, that one mind. She didn't just think about herself. All right. Is there any questions based on the class tonight? This will be the closing of the Feast of Purim tonight. I'll answer you afterwards. Anything? Anybody?
I would just say the scripture where it says the Lord is my strength,
Mm-hmm.
I think is kind of like don't put anything
The whole thing, I like that. I like that. I like that. Anybody else? All right. In saying that, I'm going to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Mataziala.
All right.